Okay. That must not have been chapter 1 that we just read. That was the intro to spirit. Now we're on chapter 1, which is safety first. Again, I'm reading this for myself. I'm laying on a heating pad and drinking my cranberry juice. Okay. I can see how this might look. In the last section, I closed by mentioning that there's a lot of fear-based energy going around regarding the spirit world, and now we're going to discuss safety and speaking with your guides and ancestors. It almost makes you wonder if there really is something to be afraid of. As with anything, it is vital to take a balanced and centered approach to your relationship with spirit. This includes taking the appropriate measures to cleanse and protect yourself. Think of it like driving. Regardless of where you live, there are rules into the road. These rules aren't meant to be obsessed over, and you don't have to remember why these rules are in place. All you must do is follow the guidelines. As with driving, you must keep your eyes on the road. When I was learning to drive many years ago, my instructor taught me to always be on the watch. Keep your eyes ahead, but you also want to check your mirrors. Check your side mirrors and look behind you when you change lanes. Then turn on your signal. I remember these instructions because they've served me in life and worked with spirit. I also often share a spirit version of these instructions with my clients. When Sylvia and I first met, my guide showed me in an image of her searching for something, but it wasn't clear what she was looking for. I asked, but didn't get an answer before meeting with Sylvia on a Sunday afternoon. My guides use silence in a particular way. Over time, I learned that when it seemed their messages have stopped, it's time for me to pay attention to what's around me, in other words, to look ahead. Almost immediately after I had asked for guidance on the more profound things Sylvia was searching for, she said, with some shyness in her voice, "You're the third reader I've met with this month. I really, really need some help with this." The answer, at least to the question I was asking, became evident. Sylvia, whose name has been changed and details kept under wraps, had been going around from reader to reader looking for a solution to a problem that no one seemed to have. As our sessions went on, I could tell she was getting increasingly frustrated with the information coming through. Eventually, her guides, who were definitely picking up on her frustration, said to me that the only way she could get a solution to her problem was to actually take action. What was she looking for, however, was someone to tell her that spirit would do everything. She wanted to know when it would happen and how, never considering that there were things she had to do along with spirit. If you've ever heard the idea that we are all co-creators with the universe, this is precisely what that saying points to. She kept searching because no one gave her the answers she wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to say is a lot of the times people don't like my readings and stuff, and it's usually because I don't sugarcoat them and I just tell them what I'm hearing from your guides. And then sometimes it can be upsetting, especially if it's something you haven't really thought of, like getting out of your own way and working on your repressed anger is holding you back. And then people are like, "I don't have anger. What is she talking about? I'm so healed." I'm like, "No, that's not what they say. It's not what your guides say." Okay. Unfortunately, her guides also showed me that she wasn't ready to hear about the work she had to do. Even though it was the truth, she didn't come away from our session any more satisfied than when we started. In fact, she sent me a very strongly worded email to express her dissatisfaction. Oh. While she admitted that her frustration was towards the situation and not me, the insight was quickly covered over, making me the target for her anger. I wrote back to reiterate what we discussed during our session, some real and viable methods to help her finally see a solution or a resolution. That's another thing. A lot of the times when I'm doing sessions, I'll give you a lot of work to do, and then people will be like, it's not working, I don't feel any different, like, I'm not getting any further, or I just thought that this was going to be a quick cure-all, and I'm like, you were given this, this, and this, and this, and this, and told to work on this, 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 and this. Have you done this? Did you start doing this? Oh, well, I'm trying. I'm like, you might want to start working on that. My face is so swollen. This story highlights one of the reasons why safety is so necessary. Ahead of communication with spirit. In the real world, we take measures to protect our bodies. In the realm of spirit, we take steps to protect our mind. One of the things many of us are drawn to when it comes to spirit is the idea that our guides and ancestors can see and know things that we can't know. They can also make things happen that we can't do with our physical bodies. The truth can unfortunately lead many people to be trapped, constantly looking for a solution that fits what they think is the right one, or a result that looks like what they've imagined in their minds. This is what is going on with Sylvia. In our session, we talked about how well she had been taking care of herself, and I could feel her disinterest in the topic. Still, talking about mundane things like diet, exercise, water intake, and meditation was important because these practices are essential for cleansing and protection. This week, I did do a video and I talked about somebody wanted to know how to get in contact with their spirit guides. And I said the first thing is to prepare your vessel. Like, you want to be involved spiritually in being able to communicate with your spirit guides and spirit animals. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're resting, that you're sleeping, that your phone's away from your bed, that you're not on your technology 1 hour before bed, that you're drinking plenty of water, that you're eating properly, that you're getting out and grounding. Like, the first thing I feel like is like preparing your vessel. And meditation is super, super important in that. If you meditate daily, like, the spiritual insight you start getting from meditating daily is amazing. Meditation is focusing your mind and keeping your eyes ahead on where you're going. Focus on the past or imagining the future is like trying to drive by staring in your rearview mirror or out of a sunroof of your car. What's the intention of these practices? You want to feel grounded in your body, first of all, looking straight ahead and intimately aware of when it's time to change. With everything happening in the world and your life, it can be easy to check out of the physical world and ignore your needs. Second, you want a strong sense of who you are and your place in this world. Another thing that many people get caught up in is not having purpose or knowing what they want to do with their time and their energy. They see themselves as too small to really impact their environment and think they need to be a celebrity or have a large social media following to be valuable. I don't want to be famous. Third, feeling connecting to others and life around you. If the concept of oneness, as discussed in the last chapter, is a bit far-fetched for you now, start with what is close to you. Start with your plants and pets. This doesn't require hours and hours of contemplation, simply considering the idea that there is an essence to you in the form of life around you. To sum it all up, you know you are safe when you feel connected to your body, yourself, and the world around you. Struggling to connect. I don't know if I can read this whole chapter. I do not feel great. Just go till I can't go. If you struggle with feeling connected to and within your life, a practice that includes cleansing and protection is essential. What is more, any protective tactics you use could work to keep any negative energies you carry around with you. Don't get me wrong, this does not mean you cleanse, but don't bother with protection. However, if you know you have struggles, You may need to do more work in addition to cleansing and protecting spiritual practices. The good news is that this isn't exact work. This is the exact work a connection with your ancestors and guides can help you with. Don't make the mistake of assuming spiritual connections and solid practices are all you need. We'll cover this in the protection section. But balance is important when it comes to everything, whether it's diet or crystal cleansing. In this perspective, balance means embracing multiple methods to assist with helping you heal your whole self. Your healing program might involve daily cleansing practices for your body and home, using some techniques below, and seeing a doctor and therapist. In this case, your preferred may be to see a therapist who respects and understands how important your spiritual connection is to you. You could think of these aspects of your practices as creating the perfect driving environment for your journey. Kind of like how they teach you in driving school, to walk around the car, check your mirrors, and arrange your seats so you're comfortable for the ride. This connectedness culminates in an overall grounding of the massiveness of the you that you are. And as a result, you are free to be connected entirely in the present moment. Now we'll get into some specific practices. I'm going to discuss the concept of safety by focusing on two areas, cleansing and protection. Don't think the methods listed below represent everything you can do. When safely navigating the spiritual world, the law of abundance applies here as well. You can use many tools, methods, techniques, and modalities to cleanse and protect yourself depending on who you are and what you prefer to work with. For example, if you're into astrology, you might look to your birth chart for direction on what techniques might work best for you. With a lot of water in your chart, you may want to focus especially on cleansing methods that utilize that element. More on this below. Or if you're religious, you might employ practices that speak to your beliefs, such as prayers or recitations of spiritual texts. I tried to include methods below that would be considered very mundane things you're probably already doing. Please do not feel bad or speak negatively to yourself if it's been a while since you cleaned your space or took a shower. Like I said before, following what works for you is important. I know depression and anxiety are real and how they can crawl into your life. Give yourself time, be patient with yourself and your journey, and remember that support is always available to you, no matter the challenge. In addition, almost anything can be used to facilitate cleansing and protection if done with clear intent. So if it is difficult for you to do some things, stay focused, trust that your guides know what you need and will present you with ways to cleanse and protect that will work for you. Cleansing. You're a powerful being. Don't read that last sentence and move on without letting the idea sink in. No one on earth is more powerful or weaker than you are. What is true is that some of us are better at managing our energies than others. There is always more access to power in knowing how to manage your energy, and the power itself is something we all have access to in equal measure. Furthermore, most people with access to power are not interested in wielding their abilities over anyone else. As at a certain level of mastery, you understand that anything done to someone else often goes back to whoever sent the work. In other words, for someone to curse you, they would have to curse themselves first. After all, we cannot forget about karma and how energies work. Think of it like magnets. If you insist on distributing and pouring negative energy, you will successfully spread it and affect others. However, the negative energy you put out there will unfortunately come back to haunt you. I will give you a simple example of this. One of these days I had low energy. Every little thing annoyed me and got the better of me. While driving, I didn't stop to let a couple cross the road. Lo and behold, the next day the same thing happened to me, but reversely. There are the little things that, if you pay attention to, will show you how energy pushes and pulls work in your life. I will go more in depth about karma later in this book. As you interact with people in the world, energies are attracted to our auras daily. This is the nature of being human and magnetic. Does your daily personal cleansing practices will not only clear you of what you don't want in your field, still, it will also help you build up protection as you become more accustomed to your personal and unique energetic imprint. In the same way, not keeping up with your hygiene regimen, regardless of what it looks like, will leave you vulnerable to energy attacks. That word has a lot of negative connotation and can trigger some fear, but I also want to encourage you not to overthink what the word attack means. Have you ever had a negative thought about yourself? I did that in a video. That is an attack. Do you sometimes imagine someone else giving you a nasty look or being rude? Those actions themselves might or might not turn into attacks. It depends on how your thoughts react to these occurrences, which can translate energetically as an attack on your aura. In these cases, it's more about the energy you put into what happens rather than what someone else has done to you. A way for you to unconsciously protect yourself is to do what I stated above. Remember to keep your personal cleansing and hygiene routines to strengthen your aura, especially during times of crisis. When your energies are low or you are not well emotionally or psychologically, you become more vulnerable during those times, allowing negative energies to invade your aura easily. Again, this all goes back to empowering yourself in the regular upkeep of your personal space. Remember, regardless of what is happening around you, you always have the power of choice. You can either spend your time and energy worrying about the potential of this happening to you or focus on building a strong aura. Cleansing and protection are how you create the aura. For cleansing, we will cover methods based on their elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Safety first, safety first. Holy crap. Okay. Cleansing with the elements. Fire element. This element is a very popular one for cleansing, especially if you have something in your life that you want to clear out. Have you ever seen what a forest looks like after it is cleared with fire? Everything is charred and dark. Soon rain comes to clear away what's left. Even though nothing is alive on the surface, the soil and roots are still there. The land is primed for a fresh start. Fire can work the same way in our lives, but it can be excruciating if we're not ready to let go of whatever is being burned away. It can be a volatile element, and if not watched, it can get out of control. It is necessary then to keep a careful watch. No, thank you. A simple way to cleanse with fire is to write down something you want to be released from and burn it. This would be best done using a small fireproof cauldron pot. You would place a piece of paper into the cauldron and watch it burn. If you don't feel comfortable using a large fire or don't have a cauldron, your mind and a small candle can work just as well. Light the candle and then think about what you want to clear. Speak to the candle while speaking into it what you want to clear and express gratitude that is done. Pay attention to how you feel. If you use a cauldron, you'll know when the clearing is complete. But with a candle, you need to be aware of when there's a shift. Water. When we mention cleansing, we usually think this has to do with water. This is for a good reason. Water is a natural cleanser. Now, running water is one of the best ways to cleanse. This is why it is so great if you have a shower or any mechanism to get running water in your home. This is one of the reasons many spiritual and magical traditions place such value on rivers or running bodies of water. Spiritual baths and showers are perfect for cleansing your body. of stuck energy in your aura. As I mentioned, using what is already easily accessible provides an excellent cleansing. Second to your body, is essential to clear your immediate environment regularly, whether you live in a 5,000 square foot home or a tent. You can also use fire and air to clear your home, though you want to be especially careful with using fire for this purpose. Before cleaning your home with water, say a blessing or prayer over it to state your intention. You want to say that the water you are using will clear your space of any and all unwanted energies in your space. After cleaning, you'll notice that your space feels lighter, calmer, and more peaceful. Turn the effect up by lighting a couple of candles. A more simple way to cleanse with water is just to cry. Water is associated with emotions and love. Sometimes releasing your emotions with a good cry is a cleansing in itself. Just encourage yourself to feel good afterwards. Don't leave yourself stuck feeling down. An excellent and simple bath, as recommended by Barbara M. Brennan in Hands of Light, a guide to healing through the human energy field, is to take a bath with 1 pound each of sea salt and baking soda. Rest in the tub for 20 minutes and get ready to feel the need to rest afterwards. So a lot of the times we do like to do the cleansing with fire. We'll do a pine cone and we'll write things we want to release, and then we'll put them in the cauldron and let it burn. And then I take a spiritual bath like almost every night. It's very rare that I'm not in an Epsom salt bath at night for cleansing. Air. Although my birth chart is very fire heavy, cleansing with air is one of my favorite methods because most of the methods are very easy to do. Cleansing your space with air could be as simple as opening a window or even a door to let in the fresh air. You've probably done this before and noticed that the change in the energy in your space is immediate. I always get in trouble for leaving the door open. My husband and my kids get mad. It's too cold, blah, blah, blah. Your own breath can also be used to cleanse. How's your breathing right now? Is it shallow or deep? Take a deep breath and notice your energy shift. This is a way of cleansing it too. Some people would consider burning incense or resins as a way of cleansing with fire. This is where lines blur a little. If you look closely at any tactic, it requires using another element. Cleansing with water might also require using tools associated with the urge, such as soaps created with oils and acids. With a variety of incense available or recipes you can easily craft on your own, you can cleanse yourself and your space with a scent that also works to lift your spirits. As we'll go over in an upcoming section, incense is also used to call on spirits, especially ancestors and guides. Incense have been used for more than thousands of years across multiple cultures. You will want to do your own research to find what your spirit enjoys. But if incense is something you can burn in your home and is something you like, it's an excellent method for clearing and protecting energies. Another way to use air as cleansing is by using your voice. Proverbs 18:21 says the tongue has the power of life and death. This means that by using your words, you can affirm or deny yourself. An example of clearing affirmations might sound like this: I am now clear of any thoughts, feelings, or impressions that are not for my highest good. Do not hesitate to alter an affirmation so that really speaks to you. Earth. This book is about spiritual connection, but as we've covered, the physical and the spiritual are intimately connected. Of all the cleansing methods, using earth is possibly the least time and energy. Intensive ways to cleanse yourself and your space. A straightforward way to keep your environment clear is by caring for your plant babies. If you live in a climate with lower temperatures and do not like the cold, this method is a viable and valuable way to connect to the earth and use earth energy in the winter months. One very powerful way to cleanse the earth is through a practice called grounding. If you've seen people online tell someone else to go touch some grass, this is precisely what they are referring to. A traditional way of doing this practice involves simply going outside, taking your shoes off, and standing with your bare soles on the earth. This is one method that science has proven. Research has revealed that electrically conductive contact of the human body with the surface of the earth produces intriguing effects on psychological health. Such effects relate to inflammation, immune responses, wound healing, and prevention and treatment of chronic inflammation and autoimmune disease. I need to get outside. Using crystals is an excellent way to clear your relatively simple energy. Clear quartz is all you need for this purpose. The larger the crystal, the more energy it can take on. You will also want to pay close attention to the shape of the crystal. Tower crystals, for example, can be used to direct or point energy like a wand. Think of the point of the crystal as a laser that points the crystal's energy in one direction. Lying outside in the sunshine is an excellent way to clear your energy. If done regularly over a few days or a week, you might find that this method alone is sufficient enough to completely clear your aura of some major blocks. There's an obvious link between cleansing and protection. Both are equally important. However, as I mentioned before, if you focus on one of the detriments or the other, some unwanted effects may result. Say, for example, you're in a relationship that is not happy. Simply using your energy to protect this relationship and then to clear it out would keep the unhappiness contained in a way. The same idea works for yours not in a relationship. The thoughts you think every day are the energetic company you keep. Protection without cleansing would only work to insulate you with these energies. As I mentioned before, clearing and protecting work hand in hand. What you hold in your mind is an integral part of your protection. You repeating thoughts grow according to the laws. Thinking of lack, sadness, despair, and violence will bring more of the same, eventually making you feel afraid, drained, and on guard. You may feel the need for protection. If this is the case, your spirits might lead you towards doing the inner work necessary to strengthen your aura. Your hygiene regimen already does a lot to work to cleanse and strengthen your aura. The practices below become even more effective when using in tandem with cleansing. Prayer. Going back to what we mentioned in the air element above, prayer is perhaps the strongest and most effective form of protection. One reason is that this method can be used anytime, anywhere. You don't need to prepare anything, light candles, or invoke deities. Prayers can be done in complete silence while doing other things or in a moment of high emotions. Prayer is essential for all the techniques described for protection, especially when creating more connection to spirit. It's also a method that can be used for cleansing and protection. It's a little unfair to acknowledge without sharing that you can't get around learning how to pray. We're always praying, whether we are aware of it or not. Some people will call it running thoughts or self-talk. You're familiar with the concept if you've heard these terms before. No matter what you're doing, driving, washing dishes, watching television, or being out with friends, there's a dialogue happening in the background that we remain unconscious of. This dialogue is a prayer. Exactly what you are praying for depends on you. More specifically, what you pray for depends on the vibration you hold. Let's say you're holding a vibration on the level of desire. You may constantly be thinking thoughts of disappointment, how the things you want have always seemed to evade your grasp. In this level of vibration you crave, your prayers then may be impressions and words of want. Your moving forward in life is dictated by these wants, calling in mind the phrase slave to your desires. For more on this, it gives you a book. The way to know what you're asking for is to look within and assess your emotions. And then look around and see what is showing up in your life right now. How do you feel reading this book? Are you questioning or doubting? Or is it easy to see how your self-talk produces immediate results? Because prayers heavily depend on your emotions, you want to be intimately aware of how you feel. This leads us to the next method of protection, meditation. Meditation, as with the physical world, there is a myriad of opportunities to get lost and distracted in the spiritual world right alongside prayer. A focused mind is what will keep you protected in multiple ways. The focus will keep your energy directed towards your goals and what you want to accomplish with your life. This protects you from doubt and lacking confidence. Remember Sylvia, the client who was going from reader to reader looking for a solution to a problem that wouldn't appear out of thin air? A focused mind is one of the things she and I talked about as a solution to her issue. But imagine looking for an answer to an urgent question and being told that you need to sit still, rest, and meditate. It sounds like doing nothing is the exact opposite of what actually needs to happen. But often the solution we're looking for are in the stillness and the silence of a meditative mind. Having a still mind automatically makes you strong and strengthens your aura. Your mind affects everything. When it is still, that calm energy radiates along through your energetic body. Meditation keeps you from being susceptible to outside influences and gives you the power to control what affects you and what doesn't. No, thank you. When your mind is still and focused, you can better hear the voice of your guides and ancestors. When you hear your guidance, you're much less likely to believe or be swayed by the outside world. While you can still maintain your curious and adventurous nature, you're not knocked off course. When someone tells you something that goes against your worldview, you're also much less likely to be desperate in your search for an answer to your more significant life problems. This protects you from manipulation from outside forces. Meditation does not have to be levitating cross-legged in a dark room. Connecting with your breath can take 2 minutes while waiting to use the bathroom. The answer you're looking for will come from within. At the very least, you might have a still mind to hear the voice of your guides and ancestors. If you don't have meditative practices, you can start today by staying still and focused on your breath. Shielding. This practice is imagining your aura to be protected outer layer that keeps out anything unwanted from your aura. Keep in mind that techniques works exceptionally well when combined with other practices, and do not forget the cumulative effect. I'll leave it to you to guess what spiritual law I'm alluding to here. The more you practice shielding, the less effort it takes and the stronger your shield becomes. For this practice, I encourage you to get creative. You want to let in some energy still so that you might create 3 shields around you, each with its own level of permeability, or you can stick with your one shield and create it out of some special astral material that wards off what you don't want but keeps you elevated. One method to create this shield is to literally imagine it around you. Close your eyes, take a few focused breaths, and start to imagine your shield forming around you. If you're not used to a practice like this, you will have to be diligent with it at first. The first few times you try, you may need to use an audio meditation guide, but after a while of listening to the meditation, you won't need to rely on the recording, and you can conjure your shield at will. When working with your guides, you may be directed to use more than one type of shield, depending on what you're doing. One way to use your shield is before going outside to work or running errands. What's most important is that your shield works. You'll know how effective it is by how susceptible you are to getting worked up. Doing this kind of assessment requires awareness, which your meditation practices will help you with. One of my favorite shielding techniques for people not used to creating a shield around themselves is collaborating with Mother Earth or solar light energies. The basis of this comes from Ariel Gotaga, a teacher of magic for over 30 years. For this practice, you want to either incorporate the light of God, solar light, or the light of the goddess into your routine. Ask to be surrounded by the light and imagine yourself surrounded. Then ask God or the goddesses to provide a protective shield around you. Once you feel a sense of peace, you know the practice is complete. Keep coming back to this feeling of peace throughout your day. How to keep negative energy and low vibration spirits from entering your space. Ooh. The most simple yet important way to protect your house. Stop messaging me, people. The most important yet important way to protect your home from negative and lower vibrational energies is to keep it clean and decluttered. However it is, my house is very messy right now. I've got a UTI, and that's TMI, but I cannot clean. I hurt so bad. It's so cluttered. So declutter your houses, y'all. However, if you are still experience recurrent negative energies, invasions, there are several ways to protect your home or space from them. Make sure of your house feng shui. Feng shui is intimately connected to Western spiritual beliefs. In cases you can redecorate your home or move things around, I would advise you to pick a feng shui book and make sure your house follows the guidelines presented by the 4000 BC wisdom of old China. Some big no-nos from feng shui are no mirrors, water imagery, dangerous animal portraits, and the color blue in the bedroom. Dangerous animal portraits. Water imagery. I don't have anything hanging on the walls in here, but I've got an owl dream catcher somewhere. Oh, I think it's over there. I've got an abundance witch's ladder, and I've got a relationship witch's ladder, and I've got a tree. Color blue in the bedroom. No color blue in the bedroom. Red blanket. Gray sheets. Okay. All of these elements can cause disruption, aggression, and the calling of negative entities. How many of you are, like, I don't know how popular this will be, but if you're reading this and you have like a blue blanket on your bed and a waterfall picture hanging in your room, like, you're going to be like, oh, get to redecorating. The bed must be diagonal from the door entrance. Is that like straight across? I don't know. Your feet should face the door or the window, which brings... Your feet shouldn't face the door. Oh, no. My feet face the door. It brings death's energy. It shouldn't face the door or the window. So my bed needs to be moved. But then it would block the door. There's really no other way to do it. No mirrors or reflective surfaces should be facing either windows or doors. I didn't know that. So you don't want any mirrors in front of windows or doors because it creates a portal for uninvited energies. I think I don't have mirrors in anybody's room but mine. And it does not face a door or a window. So that's good. Balance straight lines and corners with rounded furniture. Corners are harm bringers. Interesting. Keep plants and fresh or dried flowers in your home. Flowers can be protect your space, especially roses that represent Archangel Michael, the first in line to defend humans against low vibrational beings. Get a statue of any material, preferably made out of protective stones like tourmaline and smoky quartz, or your totem animal preferred archangel or talisman, like an evil eye or a Hamza. You can place them near your house's entrance door to impede the unwanted invitation of negative energies you might bring with you from outside. I also just recently put iron by my door, like rusted iron keeps a specific entity out. Sage your house regularly, especially after a bad day, an argument, or after you finish cleaning. Sage primary function is to clear and lift old energy. Residual energy is useless and should be released. White sage and the act of saging signals the lower energies that it's time to leave. So when you sage, you may have the added benefit of spirits attracting. So when you sage, you may have the added benefit of spirits attracted to the energy departing naturally. I like to use mugwort. It connects a lot to the Viking energy. So positive affirmations: constantly remind your house that you love it, are happy to live there, feel your house is beautiful, and makes you feel protected. When saging or cleansing, you can also express your intention of your space. Address negative entities directly. If there's a negative entity hanging around your house without your consent, do what that. If ignoring it doesn't work, then you should banish it with your words. You are truly powerful. No negative entity can stay in your space without your permission. By calling in divine light, see your house surrounded by it and tell the negative entity to leave. Sing or play music. Sound is known to elevate energy not only of people but also of space. Remember to listen to music that embodies the energy you want to fill in your home. You can also use instruments like tuning forks, Tibetan bowls, and wind chimes. I've got all of those. Call in positive, loving spirits. Welcome in the spirit guide, angels, and loved ones, and visualize the inhabitants of the space connected by energy of love and light. Your spirit guides will keep your home clear and of negative energies. Diffuser or incenses. You can light incense. Remember to open the windows or else anything you want to banish with incense will stay in the house. Or use a diffuser to drop oil with protective properties. Good choice for protection are cinnamon, lavender, pine, and myrrh or frankincense. I've also got like pine spray that I like to use, incense spray. How to keep negative energy and low vibrational spirits from your personal energy field. Besides the technique mentioned at the beginning of the chapter, grounding is an awesome technique with several benefits, including protection from low vibrational energies and entities. Grounding is a term used to mean recentering and reconnecting with the earth by refocusing and reestablishing yourself to a state where you feel centered, whole, and complete in who you are, confident in your life path, satisfied with where you are at the moment of your life, rebalanced and harmony with yourself and the world, emotionally and mentally clear, feeling of peace, energetic awareness, and presence. It is best to ground yourself in the early hours of the morning. This way you will be ready to deal with whatever comes your way during the day. Beside that, before going to sleep at night is another excellent time to ground yourself since you've spent the day intermingling your energy with those of others. So re-anchor yourself to earth, allowing it to banish energies that are not yours. How to ground yourself. Connect with nature. Take a walk in a forest, park, or at the beach and place where nature surrounds you. If that isn't possible, decorate your home with plants and surround yourself with natural elements. When outside, if possible, take your shoes off and let your bare feet soak in the energies of Mother Earth. If you can't, sit wherever possible and soak in the sun while breathing deeply. At home or outside, touch plants, trees, flowers, and speak with and take care of them. Rooting yourself, sit down with your bare feet on the floor, preferably bare. In your mind's eye, see roots spreading out from your feet and entering the earth. Feel it one of the vibration earths of the energy of the earth. I know that some people aren't visual, so stomping your feet as well can help ground you. Depending on the tempo, drumming music can mirror the beats of the heart and thus the energy of the earth. If possible, dance barefoot to the drum rhythm. Sit barefoot and tap your feet to the beat. How to stay safe from calling in the wrong. We're almost done. The wrong spiritual energies. When using any spiritual gifts or psychic abilities, performing rituals, or communication with your spirit guides, know that you cannot invoke the wrong spirit energies unless you allow it. Still, if you feel frightened by even the slightest prospect of it happening, here are 5 techniques to stay safe from calling in the wrong spiritual energies. Wear a protective object, a talisman, a crystal, a stone, or an heirloom. Anything you have imbued with your intention and wishes of protection will be automatically shielded against any spiritual energies that can harm you. Have you ever had a favorite necklace that broke or a cherished ring suddenly disappear? Those objects were filled with negative energies from the days, months, or years that spent shielding you against them. In these cases, you can either throw away the object after thanking it or put it out in the full moon and ask for the negative energies to be released. Leave it there day and night until the next moon comes and bless the object to become a protective item. Use your mind's eye to surround yourself with white light before any connection to the spirit realm. White light protection is a light shielding or a light bubble that works as a protective layer that covers your entire aura. Once placed, this energetic layer rests on the outside of your aura boundary. A white energetic light shield can boost your vibration, providing some extra energy care, fortifying your energy from lower energy sources, and preventing unwanted energy from getting into your energy space. Ground yourself, as I stated before. Grounding yourself before waking up after an altercation that might shake you shake you negatively, and before going to sleep, this will keep foreign energies away. Be careful of your words. Like everything, words have energy, and our words have more than energy. They have the power to change our future. Do not speak negative words or ways of speak so you do not attract low vibrational energies. That includes negative thoughts. The best way of protection against any low vibrational or negative energies is to love yourself. Do not criticize yourself or belittle your actions. When doing something wrong, making a mistake, or just not being up to your best, make sure to forgive yourself from a loving place, not only to yourself but to others. Promise to be better and do better. The more you shine with a genuine love for yourself and all in existence, the less negative energies can invade your personal space. Understanding energy is the next chapter. Okay, love you guys. Peace out. I'm tired.